Vasel. Welcome to the Dice Tower. Look back. This video series is called, where I take a look at reviews that I did a year, 5 years, and 10 years ago. Tell you what I think about them now, if I think about them at all. As last week, this particular week, I did not review anything 10 years ago, so we're just taking a look at things 1 year ago and 5 years ago, so let's get started. Last year, I reviewed a game from Queen Games called Scrap Racer. I wanted to like this game, the idea of racing scrap things around, but just way too lucky. Not a very good game, 5 out of 10. Terraforming Mars Big Box. I really like Terraforming Mars. It's a great game, and there's a lot of cool expansions. The Big Box, which is put everything into this big giant box. You would think this would be a slam dunk for me. The problem is the plastic pieces that come with this set aren't as good as the many different ones you can buy on the secondhand market. The box itself is okay. I'm glad I own it, but I don't think I would buy it. It's just a box with some cards and ways to store everything. It works, but 6 out of 10. Pirate Legends. This is a kids game. A lot of fun for kids, so definitely I gave this one, I don't know, I said definitely, a 6 out of 10 there. You're kind of moving around a board, flipping tiles over, looking for treasure, a little bit of push your luck in it. Scapegoat. Now, despite the fact that I really don't like the artwork of this game, this is a faster, quick social deduction game where you're trying to put the blame on somebody else and make someone at the table the scapegoat. A lot of fun, quick fun laughs, 7 out of 10. Maharaja, this is the newer version from Cradio Creations. I gotta be honest, I'd probably give this an 8 or an 8.5 if it wasn't for the pretty bad production problems that Cradio has with this set. That really knocked it down a lot. I like the idea. I like moving around. It's an older Euro game that feels different than the rest out there. It's not just about getting points. It's about, well, now it's about getting points, but it's about building the palaces as fast as you can. In fact, I think the original rules were probably slightly better than the newer rules. That being said, there's a lot of variety. It is a fun game, 7 out of 10. Witchstone. This is a Reiner Knizia game that straight up feels like a Stefan Feld game because it's just basically point salad. You're placing little hexagon tiles into this cauldron, and by putting them next to each other, you form chains of actions, which are a lot of fun to take. Certainly worth your while, 7.5. Brew. This is a small game, did not do particularly well, but it's playing cards, area control. It is a mean little game. But it has really great artwork, a lot of fun things. I think it's easy to teach and fun to play. I think this is one to check out, 7.5. I did a couple classic reviews a year ago. Mamma Mia, the pizza card game where you have memory. I'm not a big fan of memory games, but in this one it works. I love Mamma Mia, 8 out of 10. And For Sale, one of the most classic games out there. Bidding game, 2 halves, works for 6 players. It's just fantastic. 8.5 out of 10. All right, 5 years ago, I took a look at Tower of London. And man, I had just visited the Tower of London before doing this review. And wow, I did not like this game. I was hoping there'd be some sort of theme involved and everything. It's just not a very good game. 5 out of 10. Miskatonic School for Boys. This was the sequel to Miskatonic School for Girls. It's a fine game. It's much better than the original one. The idea of trying to figure out who someone is, the deduction element of the game using different personalities, I thought that was some fun. This War of Mine, the board game. This one's a hard one to give any kind of rating to, because on one hand, I want to give this a rating of a 1, because no game has ever made me feel as miserable as this War of Mine. Because in this game, terrible things happen and there's nothing you can do, horrific stories about living in a war-torn zone. At the same time, this game does a good job at that. I'm giving it a 7, but realizing it's an experience. It's a wonderfully designed experience that you go into and learn what it's like to live in a war-torn country, but you're going to come out of this game feeling depressed. Fantasy Realms, fantastic game. 5 years ago only. Now they announced a big box version of it. There's a superhero, a Marvel version of it, a Star Trek version of it, but the original version, still fantastic. Small little game, drafting cards and then scoring them. Very easy. I really like it. 8.5. And then I took a look 5 years ago at the expansion for Champions of Midgard, Valhalla. Oh my word. Champions of Midgard was a game that I liked a lot. Valhalla, though, I refuse to play the game without it. I think it makes the Champions of Midgard much, much better. This one, I said it was a 9. It's a 10 now. This is one of the best expansions I've ever played, giving you, when you roll dice and you fail fighting a monster and your dice die, now they go to Valhalla and they can score you points that way. What a great idea, and really rounded out one of my favorite games. Anyway, those are the reviews I did 1 and 5 years ago. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and this has been Look Back on the Dice Tower.